There will always be a voice whispering that the timing is wrong, that the resources are scarce, that the odds are stacked too high. It's a sly, familiar murmur that tells you today is not the day to begin, that other people have an advantage you lack, that you should wait for a perfect moment that never comes. Excuses are seductive because they offer temporary comfort. They absolve you of effort, shield you from the sting of possible failure, and let you stay nestled inside the known. Yet every excuse you adopt quietly erects a wall between you and the life you were designed to live. Those walls do not keep danger out, they keep greatness in. The question echoing through every season of growth is simple. What's your excuse? Think of the toddler who falls 100 times while learning to walk. No one teaches them how to justify staying on all fours. They just get up, again and again, driven by an innate knowing that they were made to stand tall. Somewhere along the way, many of us trade that raw persistence for sophisticated rationalizations. We tell ourselves we don't have the right education, the right body type, the right connections. We convince ourselves that our age disqualifies us, that the market is too crowded, that the dream is too ambitious. The truth is that none of these stories have inherent power. They only gain strength when we repeat them. The moment you decide to step beyond them, they dissolve like mist under the midday sun. Life is full of people who chose to challenge their limits instead of defending them. They teach us that hardship can be a forge for character rather than a coffin for potential. Consider the athlete who trains in the pre-dawn cold while the city still sleeps, or the single parent who studies at midnight after tucking the kids into bed, or the entrepreneur who keeps dialing after hearing 29 rejections. Each one faced the temptation to quit. Each one heard the chorus of excuses and chose a different song. Their achievements aren't reserved for a chosen few. They are proof of what becomes possible when resolve outshouts reluctance. One of the most illuminating examples of excuse-free living is the story of Jessica Cox. Born without arms due to a rare congenital condition, Jessica entered a world that seemed designed for people with two hands. From tying shoelaces to opening doors, tasks most never think about posed real challenges. It would have been easy, reasonable even, for her to settle into a narrative of limitation. Instead, she rewrote the script. As a child, she learned to use her feet the way others use their hands, mastering skills like writing, driving, and playing piano. Where society saw deficiency, she saw a unique opportunity to innovate. Her boldness didn't stop at daily routines. Drawn to the skies, Jessica set her sights on becoming a licensed pilot. The aviation community had never certified a person to fly an airplane entirely with their feet. But that fact didn't dissuade her. It motivated her. She spent years studying aerodynamics, logging flight hours, and practicing emergency procedures. Every lesson required creative adaptations. She manipulated the yoke with one foot and adjusted the throttle with the other, coordinating movements most people can't imagine. In 2008, after 3 years of relentless training, Jessica earned her pilot's license, becoming the first armless person in history to do so. When she landed her check ride successfully, the grin on her face outshone the sun-washed runway. In that moment, she didn't just break a barrier, she obliterated a million excuses for millions of people who would hear her story. Jessica's accomplishments extend beyond the cockpit. She holds a black belt in Taekwondo, speaks on stages across the globe, and advocates for children with limb differences. Yet what resonates most is not the list of achievements, but the mindset behind them. She never waits for circumstances to align with comfort. She forces circumstances to align with intention. She embodies the principle that your body can set parameters, but your mind sets the possibilities. Her life asks each of us, with disarming sincerity, if she can touch the sky with no arms, what heights are we willing to aim for with all our limbs intact? Excuses often masquerade as protection. We tell ourselves the market is saturated to protect us from the sting of competition. We say we're too old to return to school to protect us from feeling like a novice among younger peers. We claim we don't have time to exercise to protect us from confronting our own discipline. The irony is that the very shield we raise against discomfort becomes the cage that confines us. Growth, by definition, happens outside the borders of familiarity. The seed must crack open before the sprout can emerge. The butterfly must wrestle free of the chrysalis to strengthen its wings. Comfort is pleasant, but it is also a silent thief of destiny. To dismantle excuses, start with radical honesty. Name the real fear hiding beneath the rationalization. Is it fear of failure, or perhaps fear of success and the expectations that come with it? Is it fear of judgment, of stepping away from the tribe, of standing alone in your conviction? Once fear is identified, it can be confronted. Once confronted, it can be transcended. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is the decision that something else is more important. Jessica didn't lack fear at 5,000 feet in the air. She simply decided that the freedom of flight mattered more. Next, adopt the mindset of experimentation. Treat every effort as data rather than a verdict on your worth. When a scientist runs an experiment and the result is unexpected, they don't label themselves a failure, they adjust the variables and run the test again. Likewise, when you launch a product and it flops, or audition for a role and don't get the call back, the outcome is not a judgment on your identity. It's information that guides your next iteration. Excuses die in an environment where setbacks are reframed as feedback. Surround yourself with accountability and inspiration. The company you keep either fans the flames of possibility or pours water on them. Choose friends, mentors, and communities that speak to your potential, not your limitations. If no such circle exists, build one. Read biographies of people who overcame daunting odds. Listen to stories like Jessica's until they echo louder than doubt. When your environment normalizes excellence, mediocrity becomes uncomfortable, and excuses lose their audience. Action is the ultimate antidote to excuse-making. Overthinking breeds hesitation, and hesitation fertilizes excuses. Commit to taking one concrete step today, however small, toward the vision you carry. Draft the first page of the book. Lace up for a 10-minute run. Enroll in the evening class. Make the awkward networking call. Momentum doesn't require grand gestures. It begins with motion. As you move, confidence compounds, and what once felt impossible becomes your new baseline. Remember that perfection is a myth strategically designed to keep you idle. You will never have all the information, all the money, all the support. Start anyway. The path reveals itself in motion, just as a GPS recalibrates once the car is rolling. Waiting for perfect clarity is like refusing to leave the shore until every wave in the ocean is still. Life's seas are always shifting. Mastery lies in learning to navigate, not in demanding calm waters. Your story has a ripple effect beyond your own fulfillment. When you rise above excuses, you become a living permission slip for others to do the same. A parent who chases their dream teaches their children that passion and responsibility can coexist. A leader who admits mistakes and keeps striving models resilience for the team. A student who perseveres through learning challenges inspires classmates to dig deeper. The impact is exponential. One person's courage becomes a lighthouse for many. If doubt still lingers, pause and visualize the cost of inaction. Picture yourself 5, 10, 20 years from now, looking back on the dream you never pursued, the skills you never honed, the impact you never made. Feel the weight of regret settling on your shoulders. Now contrast that with the exhilaration of a life fully engaged, the pride of progress, the stories of resilience, the gratitude of those you influenced. That future is shaped by the choices you make today. Excuses build the first scenario. Decisive action builds the second. Time is impartial. It will pass, whether you remain in the comfort zone or venture into the growth zone. The seasons will change, the calendar will flip, and opportunities will either be seized or surrendered. You cannot control the ticking of the clock, but you can control how you fill the minutes. Each moment is a blank check. You decide whether to invest it in the currency of excuses or in the assets of ambition, perseverance, and purpose. So what's your excuse? Is it lack of resources? History is brimming with innovators who started in garages, basements, and dorm rooms with nothing but grit and a grand idea. Is it lack of time? The busiest people on the planet still carve out minutes for what matters most, because they understand that priorities are revealed not by what we say, but by what we schedule. Is it lack of confidence? Confidence is not a prerequisite. It is a byproduct of consistent action. Is it fear of failure? The only true failure is refusing to try. Everything else is education. The day Jessica Cox took the controls of her small aircraft and lifted into the Arizona sky, she didn't just prove something to herself. She proved something to anyone who has ever stared at a mirror and seen only limitations. She demonstrated that circumstances are canvases on which we paint our choices, that obstacles can be transformed into runways, and that the question isn't whether we are equipped, but whether we are committed. Her life is a soaring testament to the power of choosing resolve over retreat, innovation over resignation, daring over doubt. You too carry that power. The same human spirit that fueled her ascent pulses in your chest. The tools at your disposal may differ, but the principle remains. Excuses are optional. Every time you feel the pull of procrastination, the lull of comfort, the siren song of self-pity, remember her feet on the rudder pedals, guiding a plane through open skies. Let that image snap you back to your own runway, where possibility waits for clearance. Stand up, breathe deep, look squarely at the dream that keeps resurfacing, the one you've tried to dismiss. Acknowledge the obstacles, then refuse to be defined by them. Decide, here and now, that your story will be one of action, not apology. The winds of opportunity are stirring, and the world needs what only you can offer. Cast off the anchors of excuse and set your course toward the horizon. The sky is not the limit, it is merely the beginning.